my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the weekly meal prep that I'm doing for my family. All the ideas that I'm going to show you are very simple and easy to do. All of it took me 2 hours. My husband took the kids to the park so that I could do this, and it would just save me so much time in the week. I know it's very difficult to find time at the moment while everyone's at home, but I find whenever I do get a chance to meal prep, it really does help me out. So I hope you really like these ideas. I have a few different dinners to show you, some snacks, a dessert, and even a breakfast as well. So I hope you really enjoy it. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing by hitting the red button below. And if you like this kind of foodie content, give it a big like. And without further ado, let's get into my recipes. So first off today, I'm going to be making some ice lollies or popsicles for the kids. I recently got these silicone molds on Amazon and I really like them because they're lying flat. They fit really well in our tiny freezer, and I've made it super simple for myself. I've bought pre-made smoothies that I'm just going to put into the molds. Of course, you could blend up your own fruit and juice, and I've actually made videos on that in the past, so I'll link those down below. But today I'm just going to pour those in, stick them into the freezer, and then the kids can have them for dessert tonight. Next up, I'm going to make a slow cooker dump bag, and this time it is a Spanish chicken recipe. So this has chicken, olives, chorizo, pepper, onion, and tomato puree in it. So first off, I'm going to finely chop an onion, and I recently got this new gadget. It's a Von Chef chopper. I got it because my friend Kerry swears by it, and it does chop up onions and carrots and garlic so very quickly. As you can see, I just pressed a button, and now I have finely chopped onions like this. Next up, I'm going to put my chicken into the Tupperware where I'm going to keep everything. The recipe that I'm following, which I will link below, actually called for 8 chicken thighs, but we've got chicken breasts in, so I thought I would use that instead. So I've put that into the Tupperware, and then I'm going to chop up 3 peppers. It can be literally any color, whatever you have. So I'm using orange, yellow, and red, and I'm just chopping them into bite-sized pieces for us, and then I'm going to carry on and do that for all of the other ones. But if you don't know what a slow cooker dump bag is, it is basically just putting all of the ingredients that you're going to throw into your slow cooker into a bag, or in my case into like this glass Tupperware, and it's just so handy to have either in the freezer or in the fridge. And then on a morning when you wake up and you need to stick dinner into the slow cooker, all you do is just chuck everything into the slow cooker at once, and it makes it so quick and easy, and then you have a delicious dinner. And now I'm chopping up and adding in a whole chorizo, and this adds so much flavor to the dish. Then I'm also going to add in the finely chopped onion that I showed you earlier, along with some olives. I'm going to put that whole thing of green olives in. These are the Sainsbury's basic ones. We buy them every week and have them in salads and dishes like this, and they're just so yummy. And then finally, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of tomato puree, and it smells so good. But that's all I'm going to add to the Tupperware, but I am going to write myself a little note on a label to remind myself that when I do put this into the slow cooker, I need to add 300 ml of white wine and 300 ml of vegetable stock, or you can use chicken stock, whatever you have, and it needs to go in for 6 hours on low. Next up, I'm going to make Matt's favorite vegetarian shepherd's pie. This recipe is so yummy. We've made it about 5 times now, and I think out of all the meat-free dinners that we do, this is the best one for not knowing that it doesn't have meat in it. It tastes exactly like a normal shepherd's pie. So first off, I'm taking about 700 grams of potatoes, peeling them, chopping them, and then I'm going to boil them for 20 minutes until they're soft, and then I can mash them, and that will be the top of the pie. Yeah, so we've been eating meat-free 3 to 4 nights per week as a family, and it's actually been easier than I thought it was going to be. We started doing it for the health benefits after watching a documentary called What the Health, but also eating less meat has a positive impact on the environment as well, and there's so many yummy recipes out there. But obviously you could also make a recipe like this with like beef mince or lamb mince as well. But now I've just put an onion and 2 carrots in into my mini chopper and I'm going to whiz that up until it is finely chopped, and then put that into my frying pan with a bit of olive oil, and then let that soften for about 4 minutes before adding in the corn mince and the stock and the tomato puree. So while that's softening, I'm going to make up my vegetable stock. I'm just using one from Norris, and I'm going to need about 400 ml of that. Then I'm also going to add in an entire pack of corn mince. I have worked with corn in the past, but this isn't part of that partnership. But it's super simple to use, and the good thing about it is it just has to simmer for about 12 minutes and then it is completely cooked. Then once that's been mixed up, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, then also a tablespoon of soy sauce, a big tablespoon of tomato puree, and then I'll add the stock in and let that simmer for about 12 minutes, as I said, or until it's thickened. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that you add in a tablespoon of flour. The recipe I'm following actually called for corn flour, but we used all our corn flour to make slime. So all I had was normal flour, and it actually worked just as well. So I've added that in and just giving it a mix around. And by now the potatoes are ready, so I'm going to strain them and then mash them. All I do to mash them is use a potato masher, and I'm going to add in some butter and like the tiniest bit of milk. Matt actually doesn't add any milk when he makes a mashed potato. He said you don't need it, but I'm adding in a tiny bit to make it easier for myself. And that's pretty much it. All that's left to do is put the two together. So I'm going to put the corn mixture into the bottom of my rectangular pie tray thingy and then cover that with the mashed potato. And what I tend to do is like flatten down the mashed potato and then rough it up with a fork, because I find that makes the topping really crispy. And you can also add cheese if you want to, but I'm gonna lay off the cheese today. And I think I'm actually gonna freeze this dinner so that I can just have it and then like pull it out as and when I need it. But this is a great one for me to make because this can sometimes feed our family for 2 nights. If I serve it with loads of vegetables and roast potatoes as well, and like the boys like gravy and stuff, it will actually feed us for longer than 1 night, which is always good. And now I really wanted to show you an orange and oatmeal muffin recipe. I made this and shared it on my IGTV as part of a Tropicana ad that I did, but I keep making this recipe because it's so simple and I really like that it has oatmeal in it. So first off, you want to combine a cup of oatmeal, which are like the quick oats that you could microwave, and then you also want to add in a cup of orange juice and leave that to one side to let the oats soften. Then in a bowl, you just mix up your dry ingredients, which is a cup of wholemeal flour, half a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Then you want to add in 2 egg whites, and then you also add in the orange and oatmeal mix, and then you just mix that all up, and that is literally how easy it is. What I also like about this recipe is I don't feel too guilty when I eat them because it's completely fat-free, as you can see. And if you didn't want to use the eggs, you can also add in applesauce as a substitute, so it could be vegan as well if you wanted it to be. So I'm just going to give that really good mixture, and then I'm using a silicone muffin tray because they are fat-free. They can be quite sticky to muffin paper, so I find that this works best. So I've just greased it with my Frylight spray, and then I always tend to use an ice cream scoop when I'm doing muffins because it makes it so quick and easy. This mixture should actually make 12 muffins, but I think I've gone overboard on a couple of them, so it didn't quite make it to 12. But once you put it into the tray, then you just stick it into the oven for 15 minutes, and that is it. These are really yummy with like a hint of orange, and sometimes I even use these for dessert. I'll put Nutella on the top so that they then look like a cupcake, and then the boys will have them for pudding if I literally have nothing else in, and they love it. So while the muffins are in the oven, I'm going to steam 2 chicken breasts because I'm going to show you a really cool recipe on how to make muffin tray chicken pies for your kids. And while they're steaming, because that does take about 20 minutes, I'm also going to boil up some eggs so that we have some hard-boiled eggs, which can be for a snack, to go in a salad, or even to make egg salad sandwiches. So those are quite handy to have in the fridge. Then while everything's going on, I'm also going to wash some fruit. I'm going to wash a punnet of strawberries and grapes as well. The way that I wash them, I have shared before, but I just put them into water for a good 5 minutes. Some people like to add bicarbonate of soda or vinegar, but I'm actually just using water to soak them. And while they're soaking, I'm also going to chop up some veg. I find it so handy to have chopped up veg in the fridge for kids' snacks. They love to have this with hummus, or even if I'm doing dinner for them. Like, my kids really love raw veggies, so I could just stick like 5 of these on the side of their dinner as well. So I'm chopping up some carrots, and then I'm also going to chop up some peppers. One thing I will say is, if your kids do like veggies like this, I should have probably chopped up more, because we got through this in about 2 days, because like I would have a couple, the kids had some as well. So I probably will chop a bit more in the future, but so handy to have that ready to go. You know, it's like when your kids are like, I want a snack, and you're like, oh, quick. But it's nice to have healthy options on hand. So the eggs actually just take 10 minutes. So I've just strained them, and now I've put them into cold water, and by the time that that's done, the muffins are also done. So I'm gonna put them onto my little cake stand. I think I've shown this before. Matt got it for me, and I love it because it's flat and it's marble. He got it on Amazon, and it's got this really cool cover on it. So it just sits on the side, and literally they don't last long. That was Caleb just came along and took one straight away. Once the eggs have cooled down, I'm just gonna store them in one of our little glass Tupperwares. We got a bunch of these for meal prepping, and they're really handy. I'm also gonna put the fruit in there once they're all clean. I'm going to put the strawberries in one, and then I ummed and ahed whether to take all the grapes off of the vine or even chop them up, because I still chop the grapes for the boys. But then I decided against it. I thought they'd probably stay fresher like as they are, but that actually helps me out that they're even clean. After 20 minutes, the chicken is all done. I've cut it up just to check, and then I'm going to cut them into cubes, which is going to be the inside of the little chicken pot pies for the boys. So I saw this recipe online, and I thought it would be perfect for Caleb because he really likes pastry and he really likes meat as well. Like, he loves things like sausage rolls. So I thought we could try this, and maybe he would eat a couple of them for dinner. So I'm just cubing up the chicken, and then I'm gonna make the inside of the pie. I've made this so simple. There were so many different ways that you can do this online that involved like mushrooms and onions, but I was like, you know what, keep it really simple. So I've just got the chicken, some frozen peas, which I've literally just chucked in as many as I think the boys will eat, and then for the sauce, I'm just adding in a can of cream of chicken soup. This is like a concentrated soup, you know, like the Campbell's ones, and I actually only added in 3/4 of the can because I know my boys wouldn't want it to be like really saucy, but I think most people would probably want the whole can in there. But this was a really delicious filling. Even Matt ate them and was like, this is such a yummy pie. So I'm going to again grease my silicone muffin tray just with my spray oil, and then I'm just going to roll out some short crust pastry, and then I'm going to use a glass to cut circles, put them into the muffin tray, fill them up, and then also cut smaller circles for the top bit. then I did some little cuts in the top so that steam can escape, and I'm also doing an egg wash on top just because it makes pastry look so much nicer and like golden and shiny. Obviously you don't have to do this, but anything you can do to make your kids' food more enticing is a good thing. Then you just cook it for 20 to 30 minutes or until it looks like nice and golden brown like this. And I will say that the boys really did enjoy these, especially Fraser. He ate 2 or 3 of these. I ended up serving them with a potato waffle and some raw veggie, so a bit random, but they did really like them, so I will be trying them again. Then last thing that I'm gonna do for this meal prep is I'm gonna make a super simple Greek salad so that Matt and I can have it for lunches for 2 to 3 days. So all I'm gonna add in is some rinsed chickpeas. Then I'm also gonna chop up a red onion and some cucumber and some little cherry tomatoes. I'm also going to add in some more olives and some Greek feta. Then I'm actually going to put some balsamic vinegar on this, but you could easily make like a lemon and oil and oregano dressing if you wanted to. And this keeps quite well in the fridge because there's no like lettuce leaves in it. So we can have this for lunch, or if we, because it's the summer, if we're having a like chicken type dinner, we could have this on the side as a salad, and it's really yummy. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below which recipe was your favorite, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!
Thanks for watching today.